You must concentrate. The spirit's resisting.
Welcome back to my dark corner of this sick world. Why not join us on Patreon?
Imagine what fun we're going to have.
We're looking at Spanish horror The Hanging Woman, a remarkably prosaic title for a film this rammed with incident.
You know, they say there's some sort of huge bird in this area.
Not looking forward to that. Although the alternative title, Orgy of the Dead, arguably goes too far the other way.
So there are some strange things happening here after dark.
Following the death of his uncle, Mr. Chekhov arrives in town to collect his inheritance and looking for nuclear vessels.
I have no fear of the dead.
Chekhov's gun. He finds more than he bargained for. This is the dead man's daughter, Serge's cousin Mary, but there's disagreement over her cause of death.
May I remind you that we're here to investigate a murder.
From the local inspector.
And then there's the fact that close to the tree, we found a pistol which had been fired recently.
Upstairs, the Countess Nadia mourns her late husband by putting on a show for Igor, played by Paul Naschy. A very specific type of show. Pressed for time, Spain's biggest horror star could only take a small role, but insisted that it be fleshed out into a character. Deciding on the character of necrophiliac gravedigger.
Don't make me.
Unfortunately, Nadia spoils it by moving or breathing or something, and Igor flees.
I'm sorry. I won't do it again, my darling.
Igor may have some issues. Now the coroner delivers his verdict.
I'm afraid a heart attack was the cause. When she was hanged, she was already dead.
Well, I suppose that does away with my murder theory.
Yeah, it still feels like there might be a couple of questions to answer, but the locals are used to weird stuff happening in the graveyard.
They say the dead hold orgies in that bloody cemetery.
It's mostly Igor that says that, but still.
Don't trust that gravedigger. He's a strange sort.
You reckon?
I love only you.
With Igor under suspicion, they search his home. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
By gad, ladies' underwear. The scoundrel.
Are they keeping these as evidence? Yes, evidence, that's it. Igor is looking suspicious, but he's not the only one.
Here's your coat. Well, goodbye, Inspector, and thank you for your assistance.
He's also not the only one who's having an affair with Nadia. There's also the butler, Ivan.
Wouldn't you like me to accompany you? As usual, madam.
How embarrassing. Serge is quick to punish this faux pas. You've got to show the help who's boss.
You're dismissed!
But I'll give you a decent reference. Unfortunately, Ivan still hasn't learnt his place.
You're a stupid fool, Chekhov!
And the cherry orchard sucks! What's an employer to do? Quentin Tarantino's Downton Abbey.
I just wanted to thank you.
I find ill-mannered servants most disagreeable.
Ivan's departure leaves Nadia with a gap in her schedule.
May I offer you a drink or something? A nightcap would do you good.
Who will step up for this heartless but randy widow?
I'll stand guard. Count on me. And I'll bring my bloodhounds along.
Serge, on the other hand...
I'm too tired to be very good company. You see, it wouldn't do if I fell asleep, would it?
Brutal. But in Serge's bedroom... another ill-mannered servant. Igor vanishes as Nadia arrives, and Serge has an unaccountable change of heart.
Why don't we go into my room, and I'll try to make amends.
You've beaten up both my lovers. Get your ass in there.
Now I want you to lie on your stomach, close to the light.
Think happy thoughts and bite down on the pillow. Also living in the house are Professor Leon Droiler, doing experiments in the basement.
This is my laboratory.
And his daughter Doris, who acts as maid to pay her father's rent. But that was an arrangement made with the dead uncle. Now...
And if I did allow him to continue, what would I gain from the situation?
Serge has a different arrangement in mind.
But I don't like to buy without first examining the merchandise.
Kit off, love.
All right, take off your clothes.
Wow, I was kidding.
There's no point in going on. You're the most stupid girl I've ever known, Doris.
But her father will be allowed to stay.
Thank you.
Seriously? Thank you?
Damn it, cover yourself before I begin to feel guilty over all this.
Begin? By this point, with Serge having beaten up the help, nailed his bereaved step-aunt, and blackmailed the maid into stripping, I was pretty sure he wasn't the hero. I was wrong. This is the man you have to invest in.
But this is getting ridiculous.
Mary's death is still a mystery, so...
We can hold a séance, summon her to appear, and then ask her what happened. The palms of the hands should be flat, with the fingers well apart.
Goes too well, really, as the uncle's spirit appears.
Respond. Speak to me.
Have you been banging the butler, the gravedigger, and my nephew? That was always a risk, and Nadja's not the only new victim. Igor has left behind a cryptic message.
Number 37.
Maybe he wanted to leave us a clue.
But is Nadja dead? Her body has vanished.
A diabolical witch.
Dynamite in the sack, mind. Serge and Doris follow a mysterious female figure through a secret passage and...
Nadia!
Feels a little late in the day to introduce zombies, but given the overall tone of the film, I can't say I'm totally surprised. Suspected of murder and handcuffed to his bed, Serge has a brainwave. Yes, massive blood loss was definitely the best way to check that.
You did it!
Yes.
So the truth comes out.
It's well known you can induce a living person to behave contrary to his own will. Logical to assume you can do the same with the dead.
Playing fast and loose with the word logical there. Yes, it was all the professor's doing, but why did he kill Uncle?
He wanted to form an army of the dead, of living corpses. Can you imagine what it would be like?
Not like my completely harmless zombies. The professor is induced into doing the right thing on learning that his daughter is in danger. If I lie down, they probably won't see me. Sorry this has been such a confusing review. This is just a throw everything at it film. It's terrible, but oddly watchable.
I assure you it didn't give me any pleasure.
If not for Serge, it would actually be entertaining, but he is utterly loathsome.
You're being a little dramatic, aren't you?
This would be a perfect film if he was carried off by a huge bird. How is the huge bird not a thing?
But this is absurd.
Thanks for watching. Please hit the like button like it was an ill-mannered servant. Paul Naschy is brilliant in this. What other big names steal the movie with small roles? Let us know in the comments below.
What's the matter with you? Isn't there anyone in this village at all?